Good morning, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here. I'm Melissa. For today's video, we are going to do my August favorites. These plants have been some of my favorite plants this month. They have spoken to me the most and I've been drawn to a little bit more. I have a lot more favorites, I think, this month, but I'm only going to show you 10 for this video. So before we get started, give this video a thumbs up for me and leave me a comment down below. Let me know which one of these is your favorite, and let's get started. The first plant that I'm going to share is probably my most obsessed plant this month. Well, one of them. But this one is like special and near and dear to my heart. It's my Alocasia frydek. Look at this new leaf, you guys. Look at that. She is gorgeous. And I have a surprise. I have a new leaf coming in. Yeah, to say that I'm obsessed with her is an understatement, honestly. For those that don't know the story, she was really big, had some kind of fungal issue. I ended up propagating her, chopping all the leaves that were remaining off. This plant was just a stump 2 months ago. This plant was a stump. I have her bottom half, which is popping off like crazy too, but this top half is doing the most right now. And to see her happy and thriving, I just have no words for how special and how beautiful this plant is to me. She is just so amazing. I have her in Pon. It's Lechuza Pon, in a 5.5-inch self-watering planter. She is starting to get some roots into the chamber here, and I don't want them to start rotting. So I think I will do that upsize probably next month here sometime. I am just in love with her. I am in love with Pon. I honestly wish I discovered Pon a lot sooner, and she's doing amazing in it. She loves it. I have no words. Sometimes it's hard for me to keep soil hydrated in my environment because it is really warm in here and things dry pretty quickly, and sometimes I can't always water plants in soil on time. So plants like alocasias that really do want that consistency, honestly, Pon, I feel like is just perfect in that sense that, yeah, you have to like watch the chamber and make sure that it's not rooting a ton down in here and that the water reservoir doesn't go empty. But besides that, I don't have to deal with soil, and it's been so easy for me. I have transferred a lot of alocasias over to Pon and some anthurium, but I'm excited to see how it's going to play out long term, how I'm going to feel about it in like a year from now, and how the plants are going to do in a year from now. I think that's my only thing, and I don't know until I get there, right? I don't know until I go through it and see how I like it in time, but all I can say is right now, I like it, my plants like it, and yeah, I have nothing but positive things to say about it right now. So she, by far, has been one of my top favorite plants this month. This is a Philodendron Florida Ghost. She's beautiful. I love Philodendron Floridas, but the Florida Ghost, oh shoot, I forgot that I put a thing of lace wings on it. Oops. I don't know how I feel about the lace wings yet. I'm still unsure about them. But Florida Ghost, yes, definitely my favorite over the Florida Beauty, I have decided. The leaves that are variegated are gorgeous on them, but the Florida Ghost, I feel like you can't beat this plant, this color. Look at that. That minty green. I know it's hard to make her out because she's green and blending into my background. I did take a recent photo of her. I'll put on the screen. It shows it in some better light that you can actually see the true colors of this plant and how beautiful it is, because yeah, she's blending into all of my moss balls. I would say this is definitely one of my top favorite philodendrons because of the ease of care, and I love that the internodal spacing is short. It's just one vine on this pole. So it's very compact looking, which I love. I love the bushy look. And she's gorgeous. These minty leaves are to die for. So if you don't have a Florida Ghost, definitely get one. If it's on your radar, if you've been questioning it, go for it. I would honestly get this over the beauty, like I said. I love my variegated plants. I really, really do. And I do love a couple leaves on my Florida Beauty. But again, it's just so unstable. I know these guys can give like all white, they can fade into a more darker green, but if you have like good genetics, even on the beauty, if you have like a plant with good genetics, overall it should continue and grow well for you, but variegation sometimes is so unstable. So I definitely recommend this one. I watered all of my moss pools yesterday, so everything is like super wet and watered and hydrated. I'm not gonna show what my corduroy. I featured it in my last couple favorite videos, but instead I'm gonna feature the majestic, which is the hybrid of the corduroy and varicosum. The varicosum is behind me right there. Majestic. I'm so excited for this one. I recently pulled this up in a recent video within the last, I would say, week and a half, I think, and it's doing very well. It hasn't shocked at all, and in fact, it's actually giving me a new leaf there. Seems very happy since I transferred him. It was living in moss for a while in my cabinet. I haven't noticed any decline in anything with this plant. It's in my Ikea cabinet currently living, and once it actually starts attaching and growing, it's going to be beautiful. I've seen these plants really big and beautiful, and I love the leaf shape, the color. You probably don't need a majestic and a corduroy, but they are different. Just like the philodendron, glorious and splendid, you probably don't need them both, but they are different in that sense that there is different characteristics about them. So in my opinion, you need them both. If you're gonna pick one versus the other, this one I feel like is more of a climber like those guys, whereas the corduroy is more compact and bushy like the Florida Ghost. So depending on like the style that you like, how you want the plant to climb, it will probably make the difference. I think the spacing on these is probably longer like those guys, but they're still beautiful plants. This one, I feel like the silver isn't as prominent, at least on my plant, probably because it still is juvenile. The silver is a lot more prominent on the corduroy. So if you like more of a silvery blue, I would go with the corduroy and the bushy look. If you like more not so shimmery, more of like a climber, then I would go with this guy. But I'm excited for this one. I'm really, really excited for this one to start climbing. Ever since I put him on here, I've been staring at this plant, and I saw that it was pushing a new leaf. I'm like, okay, you're not stressing. It means you're happy, and I love that. So yeah, definitely been one of my favorites for this month. Next up is a newer plant purchase. It is this one here. This is a Philodendron Ring of Fire. Look at that beautiful leaf. Isn't that stunning? This plant wasn't really on my radar. I had wanted it back in the day, and then when I saw it when I went to plant shopping, I just knew that I had to get one and I couldn't leave it behind. It's a little droopy because it was dry. I just threw some water in here to hydrate it. But yeah, just ignore that it's thirsty right now. It should perk back up here in a couple hours. It's wanting to push a new leaf already right here in the front. I hope it has some beautiful color on it. I feel like the variegation looks pretty good. I was worried the variegation was going to be kind of bland, you know, where it just kind of fades. It's not really that prominent, which I don't really care about. But if I get variegation like that and it stays, I know I'm going to be in love with this plant in some time once it starts growing. I just love the big splotches of variegation. I think it's so beautiful. I haven't noticed it browning. It has sort of like a pinky orange hue in it in the yellow, which is a little bit different, which I kind of like. It is a philodendron, so they're should be relatively easygoing. Some philodendrons are my hardest plants, but I don't think this one is too difficult. I'll probably give it a climbing support, probably some kind of pole, because I feel like a stake, I don't know. I don't know if I'll do a stake or some kind of climbing pole just for support. I haven't decided yet. I wasn't planning on repotting this one anytime soon, but This is the second time that it's gone really thirsty in the short amount of time that I've had it, which tells me that it's either root bound or the soil is kind of compacted. I might have to give it like a thorough bottom water. But I would like to change the substrate and get it into a more aerated mix and kind of get it pulled up. So I probably will repot this one at some point. But this is one that I'm definitely excited for. More excited for now, I think, than when I first bought it. Because when I first bought it, I wasn't sure. I'm like, oh no, another plant? Do I really need another plant like this? But I do love the shape. I think the shape is very unique. It's almost like a caramel marble or whatever. I remember those plants being so expensive back in the day, but this is like a cheaper version, I guess. So once this new leaf unfurls, I will probably repot it at that point because I also got the pink princess. It's like a marble pink princess. I got lucky and found that at the big box store. That one, I definitely need to get that out of the Costa soil. I'll probably do these two together in a video or something because I want to get that one on a climbing support as well. So yeah, that'll be a fun little video. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. I'm glad I found it, and I'm definitely excited to see how it's going to do for me and what it's going to look like in some time. The next favorite I'm going to share with you is, of course, none other than Miss Marble Queen. I recently chopped her and I'm obsessed. There's no other words. She gave me a new leaf. It's still hardening, it's still growing, so I'm not sure how big it'll get. Usually the first leaf after you chop is a little bit smaller because it shocks a little when you chop them and cut away a lot of the root system. The one after this should start sizing up again, and I'm excited to see where she's gonna go as far as her size, if she's ever gonna fenestrate inside here. I'm very curious about that. I am gonna be starting a golden pothos on a pole. Ever since I saw that one in Florida, like I said, I have to have a golden climbing now because that yellow on plant leaves I love too, and I just have to have a golden. So I can't wait for that one. But yeah, definitely Marble Queen has been a favorite for this month. The next pole I'm going to show you, this plant wasn't on my favorite moss pole list. It wasn't until actually yesterday that I really looked at this new leaf that it gave me. And to say that my mouth hit the floor when I first saw it unfurling, I was like, look at all this white. This is what I envisioned this plant looking like. It was giving me a lot of dark green leaves and not a lot of white. And so I was like, yeah, it's a beautiful plant, but I wish mine was more variegated. And this new leaf popped out and I'm obsessed with it. This is my Epipremnum pinnatum albo, so another Epipremnum plant. I've had mine for a very long time. It started as a small plant. I propped it multiple times. I actually got it pulled up last year, and this is what she's currently grown into. And this leaf is everything. It is beautiful. Look at that color. Look at how white and gorgeous it is. I can't wait to see what this plant is going to do in the next several leaves. They are getting a lot bigger. And when they climb up trees, they can get like over 3 feet long. Could you imagine? Yeah, I'm obsessed with her. I love her. Definitely one that has spoken to me. I cannot stop looking at her when I walk in this room now. So in the past 24 hours, this plant has become like one of my top favorite plants in here now to look at because of that one leaf. That one leaf did it. So yeah, loves climbing, such an easygoing plant. I highly recommend, and definitely one of my favorite poles to watch out for. Next up is one that might surprise some of you. So this is my black velvet Alocasia. Look at that new leaf right there in the center. Black velvet Alocasia has been in my collection a very long time. This is actually my second one. I bought one at the early stages of my plant journey. I just thought the dark velvety leaves on this plant was just the most beautiful plant leaf I have ever seen. I didn't know much about alocasias at that time, but I knew that I was just so in love with the dark leaves. And then on the back side, they're very vibrant. It's like a lime green color. The veining is so prominent. I think the veining reminds me of the frydek, is why I love it so much. That white veining down the center. It never really grew for me. The first one ended up rotting away. It just was a goner. So I bought a second one when I came across it. And again, I've repotted it. It kept dropping leaves. It would grow one. It wouldn't really do anything for me. And I've tried to grow it in soil for the longest time. I recently switched it over to pond, and I can say that it seems happy, okay for the most part. It was growing in stratum. I had moved it from soil to stratum, and it's been in stratum for like the last 4 or 5 months, something like that. And watching my frydek be as happy as it can be right now growing, I just knew that this one I had to do in pond too, because if my frydek can grow like it's growing, then this black velvet alocasia can get there one day. To have a really big pot of black velvet alocasia would be a dream. I just think the dark leaves, the veining is just so special on this plant. But I think the almost black, dark green look to the leaves is so unique. I don't really have a plant in my collection that is dark and that looks like this. So it's definitely one of my favorite alocasias. So I'm really hoping it does okay in pond and it grows to be happy. The white contrasts with the black leaves, I can't stop staring at it. And it just made me fall in love with this alocasia all over again. And yeah, I'm so excited to get this plant growing. I can't explain to you the velvety textured goodness of that leaf. Stunning, absolutely stunning. Yeah, so I am so excited for this one. Next up, I'm gonna share this lemon lime Maranta because she is growing away and she is in a cup of water. This is one that, this is my OG lemon lime Maranta. She caught flat mites, so I completely propagated all the healthy strands. And she has like quadrupled in size since I put her into water. Look at those water roots. Do you see that? She drinks the water within like 5 or 6 days. I have to fill her up again. She's even flowering in water. I have a flower bloom here as well as here. And she's popping off in water. I can't like tilt it too much. I don't want to spill water. But I'm like, what is this lemon lime doing? What is this Maranta doing? It seriously is making me want to grow this plant just in water. Or maybe I can try growing it in pond. I've considered growing a Maranta in pond to see how it goes. Since all my other Marantas are in soil, I want to do something different for this one. So let me know down below what you think I should do or what you want me to try with this one, because I'm very curious what you guys think I should do. She's so happy in plain water right now and I don't know what to do with her. I don't want to move her to soil. I don't know. I just have a feeling I just want to keep her in a different substrate. So let me know what you think. I wanted to share this little cutie as a favorite for this month because look at how beautiful it is. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that color. So I did have a zebra plant. This is a Aphelandra squarrosa or something. I'll leave the name here. Or a zebra plant. This is the Snow White version, I think is what it's called. I found this at Lowe's. I haven't repotted it or anything yet. It's still in the soil mix and everything. But look at this. Look at that color. There's just something about the white, the stark white and the contrast with the green that is so unique. I missed my zebra plant. I ended up getting rid of it. And this one is a lot more white, which I love about this plant. There's just something unique about it. Zebra plants aren't too difficult in my experience. They just like their water. So I'm gonna have to be careful with watering this one. I'll probably eventually get it upsized and repotted. It's one of my favorite plants out in my dining area. This one doesn't live in my plant room. And every time I look at that shelf, my eyes immediately go to this plant. Every time I'm over there, I'm looking at the shelf, my eyes go to this one. So I had to include this little one as a favorite for this month. I've had him probably for a month, I would say, but it's been doing well. It seems happy. and it's growing towards my light. You can see it's tilted like that. So I need to rotate it backwards so it can grow back that way. My other one that I used to have, it flowered for me. It gave me a cute bright yellow flower. So they're really cute when they flower. Very happy find with this guy. Of course, I had to share this little cutie. Again, I feel like this is my only repeat offender. Because look at that leaf. That leaf is everything. This plant makes me so happy. It's a Monstera mint. It's a baby, but it's doing so well. I just bought and watered it yesterday. It was thirsty. So this is the first new leaf in my care. Look how gorgeous it is. That variegation is stunning. So you know how much I love the Florida Ghost and that minty color. So to have a Monstera, my favorite plant genus, be this minty color, how can I not love this? I am beyond thrilled and excited to even have this plant and to watch this plant grow. I'm just gonna be so over the moon. I love this little guy so much. And I'm just, yeah, I have no words to describe how beautiful it is. It's doing so well for how little it is, how tiny it is. I was a little worried at first, but every leaf is beautiful. It has a great color on it. And I'm so lucky. I feel so lucky to have a Monstera mint. It was my dream plant for like a year, and I'm in love with it. I cannot wait to get big Monstera leaves. Next year is going to be the year of the Monsteras. Once I get my Aria potted back up, my albo, and this one, they're going to start growing and doing so well. I know next year I'm going to be just so in love with Monstera, so you'll probably see a lot of those next year. This little cutie I am just obsessed with. I love, I adore. I just can't wait for this plant to grow more, and yeah, I'm just so excited for it. So definitely has been one of my top favorites for this month. So I hope you enjoyed my August favorites. Again, I had so many that I wanted to include that I'll just have to include next month. But I'm really excited for some of these plants. I can't wait to get some of mine restarted, get them growing. I can't wait to like repot some more, transfer some more to pond. I'm excited to clear out some of these props. But yeah, I love so many of my plants in my collection. I definitely have struggled with some lately that were my absolute favorites. So I'm excited to get some growing back again. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will talk to you again very soon.